When your computer lags, you get angry, and when you get angry, you don't get as much done as you could have gotten done. And when you don't get as much done as you could be getting done, you fall behind. And when you fall behind, the crushing pain of being a video producer suddenly starts to get just a lot heavier. I know this from experience. But I have a way you might be able to avoid that even just a little bit inside of DaVinci Resolve, especially if you use Fusion. Now, it's no secret that adding a lot of effects make your computer slow. It's just something that even with the most advanced chips, sometimes if you just pile them all on, it can be too much, you know? Even the highest of end PCs sometimes will still stumble when you throw a mountain at them. But doesn't have to be this way. Hey, there's chapters in this video if you want to jump around if you're looking for a specific thing. But for now, let's check out how to safely throw a mountain at your computer. I'm in Fusion inside of DaVinci Resolve here, and now let's say I have this clip of an iPhone popping up, right? Now this is the slide to action, slide to power off screen on an iPhone, but this is actually a custom preset or a custom macro that I made for Fusion where you can completely customize everything in here. Now you can see there's a lot of stuff going on here, right? Like this isn't just a little bit, this is a lot. And this preset is available for sale on my website if you're interested in using it for any of your projects. But let's say your computer's having trouble rendering this on the fly. Like I have a pretty beefy computer. I have a big nice AMD chip and an RTX 4070, but when I press play here, you can see it's still laggy, you know what I mean? So if your computer's not giving you smooth playback inside of Fusion specifically, here's what to do. I'm first going to identify what makes playing back this animation so difficult for the computer. Is it one specific part of the animation, or is it just the whole animation entirely? In this case, we're going to treat it as though it's just the entire animation. The first thing I'm going to do is go to my effects panel and search for a tool called Saver. So my effects are down here, S-A-V-E-R, okay? So you see Saver here. Once you find Saver, you're gonna wanna drag it into the very bottom of your flow line. So I'm gonna zoom in here. You can see everything comes to this merge. I have Saver, and now I have my media out. This is the end of my flow line. So what the Saver node does is it renders everything that comes before it on the flow line. Now, in our case, since it's at the very end of the flow line, it's going to render everything. And that's where I was going with that thing earlier, where if it's one specific thing, you can just put it before that one specific thing on the flow line. But in this case, we're going to render all of it. So to trigger the render, what we're going to do is we're first going to browse for where we want these files to go. So I have a specific folder I made specifically for this, open here. I'm going to put just the number 1 for my file name. The name doesn't really matter so much. Press save. Now to trigger that render, to get it started, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go up to my Fusion menu up here in the top left corner, go down to render all savers, and now immediately it's going to start rendering everything. But instead of rendering everything in an MP4 or an MOV format, it's rendering them in EXR files. So it's making basically just a bunch of still images that are going to play back together such that in the animation they look fluid. And the fact that it's rendering in EXR is key because EXR contains a lot of data about the image compared to compressed formats like MP4. This makes it the ideal choice for further compositing work after this point without losing any data or any quality. It just works great because it still plays back as video. It's like when you have sticky notes and you flip through them real fast, you can make an animation. You can basically make a video. This works the same way. And now I'm going to turn this Saver node off. All right. Now I'm going to go back down to my effects and search Loader, L-O-A-D-E-R. Drag it down onto my flow line, and it's going to automatically open up my windows. And I'm just going to choose the very first image that it created right here. In my case, it named it 0. I'm going to open that up. It'll make a merge node for you. I also have this merge up here turned off because when this is turned on, it's trying to load everything attached to it and before it. So now all I have my Fusion composition loading is just this loader node right here, and that contains all of the data. And it's not reading effects, it's not reading nodes at this point right now, it's just taking from still images. This significantly reduces the load on your computer, on your CPU and GPU, and allows for playback just a lot smoother. Essentially, you're just letting your computer rest by giving it a simpler task, playing back images rather than playing back video. Using the Saver and loader nodes is a lot like taking just a big weight off your computer's shoulders. I call it render in place for Fusion. The Saver node ensures that all complex calculations are pre-rendered and stored, while the loader node retrieves that data, eliminating the need for just redundant processing. This workflow is just a complete lifesaver when you're working with large or complex Fusion compositions. It'll save you time and frustration, I promise. So if you want to work smarter and not harder, give this workflow a try. Works with anything in Fusion. And Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, like this video if you found it helpful, leave a comment with any questions you might have or what project you think you might be using this on, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you found this video helpful, if you think you have anything to gain from me, or any of the other videos already on my channel. Thanks for watching, folks, and I'll see you on the next video.